Black Titan here. Kroxa, Deathsunger, enters the battlefield. Each opponent discards a card. Then each one who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. This dies if it wasn't escaped, so you can play this on 2. And then what this deck is looking to do is after you play this on 2, on turn 3, you either play Calls the Dead, which starts filling up your graveyard, or you play Ashiok Dream Render, which mills ourselves. Something important to note about this card is even if you mill yourself, it exiles your opponent's graveyard. So this can be a self-enabler for cards that we want to get in our graveyard, while also acting as kind of main deckable graveyard hate for the opponent. In addition to Kroxa Deathsunger here, I've also got 4 Phoenix of the Ash as an additional escape card that we can flip into with Calls the Dead or Ashiok. And then past that, we just got a bunch of good interactive red-black cards. Bonecrusher Giant, Agonizing Remorse, Bedevil, Eat, Murderous Rider. We've got a couple of cleaves up here at the top end to slide onto our birds and our giant threats. And then we've also got a playset of Mire Triton down here, which is just a kind of okay threat. Death Touch trades with bigger creatures. Gaining 2 life is decent against red. And then it notably also fills our graveyard up for our Titan and our Phoenix as well. Let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this and see how it goes. To the person who asked about the sound issue, can someone in chat type to them that they should try changing the channel, their audio settings on their Twitch page from stereo to mono or vice versa? I forget if that's a setting. Advanced quality. I don't see it in the settings right now, actually. That's awkward. I thought there was a way to toggle that. That was an issue at one point, and Twitch must have had some kind of regression because people weren't reporting it for a while, and then other people started mentioning that it was coming up again. It's some kind of issue with the web with a web browser. It's not defaulting the right setting. Something in my configuration must be different than the defaults in. I went through and like tweaked and poked at a bunch of my audio and video settings at one point to optimize things, and something I must have changed must be non-standard that screws with some defaults that some people have. That Twitch doesn't correct on its own. Nice review. I thought it was addressed at one point. First time back since Pioneer was announced. Have I missed much? Pioneer's been quite the whirlwind. It's had a lot of... It's changed a lot in a very rapid amount of time, both due to ban list management, but also just due to cards being printed into the format. I mean, for the record, Spretta, I think the Senate giving all states an equal vote is a good thing as a balancing mechanism to the House, which is more distributed based on the populations. The problem is that with the Electoral College in the United States, smaller groups of people have unequal representation in both the Senate and electing the president. So states that have less people have more power in 2 places when they really shouldn't. It's given too much power to states that have less people when you do give it to both. Correct, yes. It doesn't make sense to do that everywhere. It makes sense to do it somewhere, though. Agree. All right, so what am I doing here? I think it's just like tapped land plus Murderous Rider the Steamkin here. It might also be right to just maximize resource efficiency and like play the Eat to Extinction. Of course, the opponent's archetype does tend to play the 3/3 that makes 1/1s when they die, Annex, I think it's called. So leaving Eat to Extinction to exile that potentially has some upside. They also play Phoenixes on occasion. It's a good one to Eat to Extinction. Yeah, I agree, Madison. Well, the swings have been big. And I feel like Theros really increased the differential between the good decks and the bad decks. That's actually a pretty good draw because it allows me to cast Eat this turn and then cast 2 3-mana spells next turn. because all of the states are part of the same country, and some people who live in different states have different have different interests in mind. So you want to try and give those states some better representation, at least in some spots, so that way they're not incentivized to break away from the Union. Not looking for a land. The fact that this card surveils also helps fill our bin up for these escape cards, which is great. Huh. So I think I actually want to play Murderous Rider here as opposed to the Phoenix. My health total is a little bit on the low side. We're going to decline exiling that, because we'll get to escape that back next turn. Thanks for the tier 3 min-maxed. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, and this one's going to make a friend for us. Now a question is, I think I'm supposed to hold up Murderous Rider here, because I don't want to just get cleaved next turn. So I think I play Phoenix on defense, play a Scryland. And this gives me my 7th mana, so then next turn I can escape this plus play a 3 mana spell still. Which seems fine. Yep. Yeah, the house, I also think that's a mistake. So they hard capped the amount of people that could be in the House of Representatives, which I think was wrong because our country has continued to grow. Well, I don't think they should have increased it without bound. They should have probably done some kind of logarithmic equation for increasing the number of people in the house, as opposed to just like giving it a hard cutoff. All right, so we're gonna murder Torbrand here, so these don't draw cards, and we don't take infinite damage. This is an intervening if clause. When it attacks, if they have more cards in hand than you. Yes, okay, so I'm going to let them attack first, because I want them to attack thinking Torbrand is alive. So this is an intervening if clause, so that means this checks to go on the stack when this checks if its conditions are met when it goes on the stack and when it resolves. So if I empty my hand when the trigger actually resolves, it doesn't do anything for them. Hey, Scorpio, thank you for the 33 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So we do this, these trade, these trade, these trade. I take 3 down to 9. People who heard the second bit were not big on logarithms, believe it or not. I agree. I believe that. No, politics is not cult-like. The GOP is cult-like. That's an important distinction to make. The GOP is a literal cult in a post-Trump world. Just looking at the response to Mitt, that is how a cult reacts when someone challenges the cult leader. If you look at the Democrats, the range of things they support and people who are Democrats is huge. In a perfect world where we didn't have a two-party system, Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wouldn't even be in the same party. Alright, so Bedevil's great here because it kills opposing Embercleaves. I think Ashiok's a little bit too slow. Yes, even before Mitt, with Amash in the house, is exactly correct. I think I want to leave some of these in, because it does exile Phoenix. Is it crazy to cut my own Embercleaves here? I feel like it's not. I'm going to cut 2 of these and 1 Remorse, I think. Ranked choice voting should be anyone who actually cares about democracy and giving the voters their choice was for ranked choice voting. The DNC is much better than the GOP, but there's still a lot of improvements to do, such as getting ranked choice voting implemented everywhere. I think we just mulligan this, right? I can't keep a hand that doesn't have a play till turn 3 on the draw. Not in this matchup. This hand is stellar. We'll keep this. We'll bottom the Fabled Passage. That's phenomenal. So we'll Witch Figure this one because this isn't, this first strike would let it beat the Mire Triton. They have a light up the stage here. So they have Bonecrusher Giant in exile anyways, so I think I'm just putting this into play tapped this turn, because I don't want to like play this out and then just get it stomped. Tokyo Whirlwind, thanks for the quarter of a year, welcome back. I appreciate the support. So, I think we just calls the dead here and start filling the bin up and making some 2-2s, hopefully. I think I'm supposed to exile this Phoenix. I think I just want the 2-2 now. This can only exile creatures or enchantments to make 2-2s. Okay, so this is a Rimrock Knight then, or an Infuriate, one of the two. I think we're just ridering this. Next turn, so we get to Murderous Rider, their Steamkin this turn, and the next turn we get to go Mire Triton plus Kroxa, and then we can escape Kroxa the following turn. This does scry and gain life equal to our zombie count. They just like pass through combat. That's so good for us. Okay, and now they've got a Phoenix of the Ash exiled here with... They have Phoenix of the Ash exiled with a light up the stage. So I think I just go ahead and pass the turn here and hold up Eat to Extinction because they need to play this, otherwise they lose it, right? And if they play this, I would like to eat it. Hungry, hungry boy. On raid, is it worth it to eat lower tier blues and purples to rank up your main characters? You should never food your epics because apparently they rebalance epics and patches with some consistency, so they could make a bad champion good. I definitely turn bad rares into food quite frequently though. If you look at the tier guide that's linked, that's pinned in the Discord channel, there are some in there that talk about which ones are good and bad. Especially the farmable rares, you turn those into food a lot. Caritas, thanks for the 20 months, welcome back. So, technically small sequencing mistake here on my part. I should have Kroxa'd before I Mire Tritoned because I gave my opponent more information about what my hand was before I made them discard a card. So I let them discard with more info, basically. I'm going to trade Mire Triton with this as opposed to the 2/2 because the 2/2 can eat the Fervent Champion later. Alright, so do I Kroxa here, or do I plan to just kill this? I think I want to just Kroxa. They've only got 2 cards in their hand. Leaving Torbrand in play is a little scary, but I think it's correct here. Will I play the Bant Lotus Field deck again? Definitely Alkali. It was a lot of fun. Is this deck good enough for the site? Maybe. Yeah, pardon. So I actually put this deck back in the queue myself today because I wanted to play it some more. I enjoyed the other variations we've worked on. Untapped land here is actually a pretty good draw, so let me double spell. Yeah, they don't have good attacks. Kroxa is just such a huge body. Yeah, if they find a cleave, they could be okay. Ah, the everlasting question. Is my opponent taking forever, or have I disconnected and the client just hasn't told me yet? Feel like I'm about 2 seconds away from restarting my client just to be safe. Yeah, just because their timer's going down doesn't mean you're not disconnected, though. Yeah, I'm gonna restart really quick just in case. The client doesn't tell you when you disconnect. That's one of those features that desperately needs to be addressed. It's a huge quality. Like I shouldn't have to ask myself this question, right? And so if they're the one that's disconnected, their timer will still be going down. So I don't know if they pass to me or if it was on me the whole time. Hey, Marshall Man, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Happy Thursday. Thanks for the half a year, Thomas. Okay. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I was supposed to empty my hand here because of them being able to draw a card off my deck. I mean, I have 5 cards in my bin still. I was about to say, how aggressive do we get here? I think the answer is pretty. Hey, Joe. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Easy mulligan. Not exciting, but keepable. Most common blue-red deck in the format right now is the Tymaret deck. Could be Flash or a Brew, though, still too, obviously. Sultai Van, the soccer mom version of Party Bus. Maybe. Yeah, we played a Red-Black Titan deck yesterday, and I kind of liked the nuts and bolts of it, so I put this together after and threw it in the queue to play today. Uro or Reclamation here? Feel like I could go either way. I kind of think it's Uro. Their hand doesn't really have any velocity in it besides Uro. Like, obviously, they run off a bunch of lands and a expansion explosion, I'm a little bit sad, but the fact that the Remorse exiles the Uro is, like, pretty big game here. Maybe it's wrong to lead on this because they can just borrow the token here. Yeah, it's pretty close. The fact that I have, like, had, like, Murderous Rider in my hand could be a knock towards not exiling the Uro. Just because I could, like, kill it. Nexus? I'm not sure what deck you're talking about with Nexus of Fate. Yeah, Ashiok was really impressive in the other build we played. Yes, this is my second to last deck of the day. So I'm getting past a little bit of the set release hype and dialing back into a more normal work schedule. Thanks for that 18-month silence spell. The rate at which I've streamed for the last 2 or 3 weeks or so is not sustainable. Okay, I think that amount of streaming is only sustainable if your name is Croquis. They draw Expansion Explosion. So this is the matchup. We've got Libations in the sideboard. I've got a couple Duresses as well. Bedevil is pretty bad. Murderous Rider doesn't accomplish a whole lot. Pretty clean in and out there. Few good cards in, few bad cards out. Click submit. Is Theros the first set? No, Eldraine won't rotate in October either. So Eldraine and Theros will both be legal till 2021. October 2021. Yeah, Croquis hours are just like absurd. He's put in a lot of work on his stream. I would be willing to wager I probably do a lot more off-stream stuff than he does. Like, my work hours in a week probably could become close to him, but like, if I try to be live for 50 hours or 60 hours a week like he is, it means I have to work 70 or 80, which is just not humanly sustainable. In order to, like, have minimal downtime on stream, I have to do a good amount of prep off-stream. I think I'm going to wait on the discard spells, give them more chances to draw cards, and I'm going to bottom the Phoenix for now, because I think I'm looking for, like, an Ashiok or a Triton or a Calls the Dead, so I can get Kroxa into play. I think my plan here is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. We'll go Kroxa here, and next turn we'll go Duress Agonizing Remorse. I don't know if he still does YouTube stuff offhand. Them playing Titans is a reason for me to Agonizing Remorse first there. Something to think about. Do icons change at 2 years subscribed? Yep, yeah, you get the horse icon. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. Alright, so I'm going to take their expansion here. Then I'm going to go ahead and Agonizing Remorse, the Reclamation. Really wish I would have remorsed on 2. And that's something valuable to have learned here. Just like, I want to be able to remorse on 2 because of their Titan as opposed to Kroxa. Yeah, it's worse than... I know I can remorse the graveyard still, but that's not really a 1-for-1. They, like, still have to fill their graveyard up with stuff here. You do have a horse, Shadow Rail. Thanks for the 2 years of support. This Duress could miss now, too. If this and the top card aren't non-creature spells. Perfect. And then this means I can Kroxa them next turn. Every time Trump gives a presentation off a prompter, I get super excited at the off prompter. I get super excited at the ways he will self-incriminate, but then get depressed when I realize there are no consequences for that. Yep. Yep. They need one more card in their graveyard to bring their Titan back. Really surprised they bounced our thing there. Considering. Hey, thanks for the tier 2 and for the 17 months of that, Rainer. Welcome back. So that means their thing's popping back up here. Hybrid Jakar, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me around. Happy Thursday. I guess we just attack here, huh? This is actually a pretty okay draw, because this means if they trade Titans, or if they this means if they don't trade Titans, I have a blocker, which is nice. And it means if they did trade Titans, it would start filling my graveyard back up and start activating my castle here, which is wonderful. Yeah, I agree. I really wish that Titans had been a full cycle. I wish we were spending more than one set in Theros so they could complete the cycle. No, Deckmaster works. That's why you don't see the cards in it. Oh, Twitch chat. That's unfortunate. It was a really lucky draw. It's a good draw. We're taking 8 here, though, down to 9. Yeah, I think we're going to lose this game because I messed up my sequencing at the start. I definitely should have played the Agonizing Remorse on 2 and not the Kroxa. It was a big mistake. Not 100% out of it, though. If we lose, it's because of that sequencing mistake. Might be able to stay in it, though. Hopefully the tank here is good for us. I think not always. I think restricting themselves to not always have blocks is fine, but I think they should leave themselves the flexibility to do more than one set on a plane to complete things like that on occasion. Agonizing Remorse would be super pushed if it did graveyard and hand. I don't know if it would be busted, but it would be super pushed. Huh? They're like positioning themselves to kill us on the backswing. I assume we're gonna see Titans trade here and then go to 6. And then like any stomp or anything like that kills us next turn. Well, yeah, do I need to edict them here? I just assume these aren't all lands, right? I think it's wrong to assume those are all lands. If they have casting Libation, I don't know, we're dead to a number of things here. So like the problem with Justice, I guess I have 11 cards in here. Maybe I am just supposed to escape this back because I have 11 cards. The downside is like I don't have enough cards to escape back later in the event that they like Brazen Borrower me, but the game's probably not gonna last that long. Yeah, I probably should have escaped this. I could also, like, depending on what they do, draw a card here, which maybe lets me push lethal the following turn. Maybe. Super punished for my timing on Libation here, huh? Super punished. Any sweet decks today? Yeah, this one. Close game. I think that's like the first close game I've ever played in this matchup. I feel like most of the time I play against this team or deck, it's just like a slaughter in one direction or the other. Usually they do nothing and die. Sometimes they peel Expansion Explosion and kill us. That was like the first really close game. And you could also probably argue that that game was only close because I missequenced my discard spells to start. Hey, thanks Technopunk, I appreciate it. Hope you have a good Thursday. Yeah, this is fine. Needs to draw some lands, but we're on the draw. Hopefully we run a couple off here. Another black source, another red source, be good to go. Alright, so even though we drew this to start, I'm pretty sure we still lead on this on one for Schwamp. Just do this now and get my auto pass value. So this way, if we don't draw another untapped land, we can go untapped land on 2, untapped land on 3. We're going to learn from our mistake last game and play Agonizing Remorse on 2 here instead of Kroxa. Hopefully they don't Veil of Summer us. They're leaving up 1 green here. God, could you imagine if that card was legal in this format? Who thought that was okay? I'm so glad that's not a card we have to think about. That would be so rancid. Beo126, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having a wonderful one wherever you're at. Ooh, Calls of the Dead, eh? Huh? Yeah, let's just jam that. Perfect. Would love to draw an untapped land next turn so we can go Mire Triton plus Kroxa and then on 5 escape the Kroxa back into play. Which would be an ideal curve. Now that we missed, I think I actually just jam Phoenix and smash. Good so far. Been watching long enough that I thought I finally had to throw some money at you. Well, thank you for that. This is my full-time job, and I wouldn't be here without folks like you. Yeah, we played Pioneer and Historic Wargame. Tomorrow, I will not be doing Pioneer because I'm starting a little bit later. I won't be live until about 9:30 or 9:45 tomorrow morning. But most days, we're going to be doing Pioneer and Historic each day. So I definitely don't need another Phoenix. I think I want this Agonizing Remorse. So with the Stomp drawn, I think I'm going to go ahead and attack with everything. And then I think I Bonecrusher plus Mire Triton here. Thanks for the 10 months, Mookaloo. Do I just jam Cleave? I really don't like cleaving because it's not resource efficient. I think I want to just spend all my mana this turn. Because, like, if I cleave here, I kill this. But, like, then the cleave's unattached, and then I don't get to be resource efficient again next turn either. Oh, I can't Mire Triton here because then I lose the Remorse, right? Okay, so we'll Kroxa then. That's fine. That's fine. That is a scotch awkward. It happens, comes up on occasion that ends up being awkward. Yep, discarded a land. All right, so I have a question now where if I do this, I don't take this off the table. If I Agonizing Remorse, they have to have 2 payoffs in their hand here, too. I think I'm supposed to Remorse plus Triton this turn. Fucking A! Mother! I don't care. It's just like, we're not even 0% to lose that game. I just don't even want to fucking play anymore. It's so unreal that that bug hasn't been patched. It's completely unacceptable. The Agonizing Remorse. I exiled the card from their graveyard. It showed me their graveyard instead of their hand first, and I didn't catch it. That is a bug that there should be an out-of-cycle patch for. We should not have to wait for a normal patch day for that to get fucking fixed. It is unacceptable. It's still not fixed. How long has this set been out for? Should be a very simple bug to fix. Thanks for the 14-month stingy. Sorry, I know people watch with kids sometimes. I apologize. This is very frustrating. Just doing like 6 different things, trying to keep up with chat and all these other things, making sure my Twitch is, my OBS is working, just... Ooh, I haven't seen this deck in a while. So again, Ashiok's here to mill ourselves, because this always exiles the opponent's graveyard. I think next turn I'm probably on Remorse plus Stomp You as a game plan. Or plus Stomp Teferi as a game plan. Because like next turn's like their Fire's turn. Their hand is super clunky if we take Fires, huh? And that was their hand. Again, biggest issue with the whole thing is just the massive inconsistency of it. Just like sometimes it shows you their hand first, sometimes it shows you their graveyard first. Isn't Magic fun? I like Magic the Gathering. It's a great game. Low variance, not frustrating. Ooh, that's perfect after what just happened to us. feels bad, man. Probably dead here. I mean, they were pretty likely to find the land, right? They had 2 looks. They were way more likely to find the land than they were to hit off of this, right? Again, the Planeswalker. Actually, I guess maybe the ability to kill their creatures is probably good here. Maybe that's fine. Embercleave's pretty bad against Teferi. I don't know if I want Duress here. Like, while they have important cards that Duress takes, I kind of feel like... What's the word I'm searching for? I feel like the quantity of cards that Duress hits tends to be kind of low, which is not ideal. Maybe I'm just supposed to have it anyways. Density, quantity of cards they have that it takes is not high. Sure. You go, discard on 2, play a 4/3 on 3. Try and beat him down. I don't know, we just don't go very wide, Captain Shannigan, so like Embercleave's kind of expensive for us. And like Teferi makes it a 6 mana card all the time. Nice, into the 6 figures basically ends. Interested to see how many Shillionaires we're going to have cashed in next year. Or maybe even later this year. That one, get rid of it. Okay, well, back to 5 figures, but worth it. Our hand is looking rather large. You have like a Mystic Dispute here? No, they wouldn't have that against us, right? What are they shock in for? Are they playing like Absorb or something? They have Mystic Dispute in against us. Weird. Absorb is not something these decks usually play. They play Dispute for the blue counterspell matchups. Yeah, really, really weird. Yeah, maybe they thought we were Grixis. I could see that. Did they draw the 3rd blue source for their Cavalier? They were very lucky last game. Swish. And a miss. Let's get rid of that one, please. Even if they draw the blue source, I have Murderous Rider here, which is nice. Yeah, I've got 5 cards in my bin already. That seems fine to leave there. I'm gonna say no. No attacks. That one's gotta go. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. They binned the Cavalier. That's interesting. Nah, let's go to 12 here. Untapped land. Untapped land, please. Untapped land, please. If we hit an untapped land there, we would have gotten to go Murderous Rider into, or Kroxa, discard your card, Murderous Rider, your Dream Trawler. Frustrating set of games. Getting incredibly unlucky after Magic Arena pooped out on us. It's not a good beat. Let's try again here, shall we? Upkeep Rider on the Trawler? Sure, we can tap the Rider during their upkeep. But then, like, we don't actually have anything to do past that. Like, we're just gonna die to it. Oh, need to draw lands real bad now. I'm actually just gonna concede here. I think it's correct to not show them what we're playing. Just not let them know. I think this matchup's fine. But now they just won't know how to sideboard. Unfortunately, any large unmoderated space on the internet tends to devolve. And if you do moderate it, you get a lot of pushback from people who feel like they shouldn't be moderated. Life's short. Do what makes you happy. So close. Yeah, this is fine. We'll bottom the Fabled Passage here. 2, 3, 4. It's dangerous to play alone. Have some soothing burrito beds. Thanks for the biddies, Blue Danube. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Yeah, those aren't bad pickups. It's unfortunate that Triton's stats don't light up well into Fervent Champion here, but definitely our turn 2 play, because that's what we've got. These sleeves are adorable. Gross. Double champion. Well, shoot. Alright, I was gonna take a do-over. Just gonna try again. This is not... We were doing so well, chat. We had such a good set with blue-white control. The ups and the downs, the swings. How are the Invisaligns working out? Well, I mean, my teeth aren't broken. It's really hard to tell. The movement is so gradual with it. I kept my very first tray that I have with it because I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to compare, like, the first tray versus the last one when they're supposed to be straight. You can see how much jump there's been. Hey, Psychonaut, thanks for the 10 months. I'm glad to have you here learning along with the rest of us. You meant comfort. True braces are misery. There's a lot of range. Some of the trays, my teeth are sore for like a week after changing them, and you wear each tray for 2 weeks. Some of the trays, they're sore for like 2 or 3 days, and then it's fine. So not super consistent. You do have to basically live with a toothbrush, because you have to brush your teeth every time you eat something. Hopefully we'll draw some spells at some point this game. Easy trade here. Wonder if that proactive trade implies they have another one of those. It could. We've reached the promised land of burritos. Indeed. Hey, there's a Kroxa. That's exciting. That's what we were looking for there. Where's the cute animal front? I have no idea, Vernash. Yeah, Twitter has an image search baked into it. So there's 6 cards in here right now, but I have a Fabled Passage, so I can exile this, get a zombie, crack the Fabled Passage, and then escape Kroxa here. And then we're in an okay spot until they combo kill us next turn. I can only assume the Raid social media person, like, looked at how much I've played and what I've spent, and they were just like, nah, we don't gotta give him stuff, he's gonna keep playing. He's hooked. Okay, that's not quite as bad as I was expecting. It's not cleave, at least. What if I double block here? If I single block here and trade, I get to gain 2 with these next turn from the Calls the Dead, which is nice. I think I do that. There is some awkwardness with Calls the Dead here and my Mire Triton's milling us over. So like, I don't get to keep these cards. So I guess I bottom this. I wouldn't mind finding like a Phoenix, extra Kroxas, whatever. Okay. Still super dead to a cleave as always, but at least we're almost at parity if they don't. Torbrand's real, God bless America. Unfortunately, escaping both of these is 4. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, Mire Tritons gained us life when they came into play. It's hard to complain too much. Oh, you know what? That was wrong. I should have left the other Phoenix in my bin rate. I don't think it really matters. It probably does. What on God's green earth is that? Equipped creature is O2 hexproof. When this creature becomes... Whenever a creature with Death Touch becomes blocked by this creature, destroy that... What? I'm so confused. Whenever a creature with Death Touch blocks or becomes blocked by this creature, destroy that creature. My poor little Mire Tritons. The anti-Mire Triton technology, chat. So if I block with my Mire Tritons here on both of these, the Bonecrusher, they make 4 tokens because this makes 2 tokens when things with 4 or more power die. I think I just have to hope to draw a removal spell for Torbrand here. Yeah, same. Usually games with Torbrand are over by now. It is worth noting, I was just about to say, because I exiled the Phoenix earlier, I could have escaped it back here, and now I can't, but we did just hit that. So that's nice. Taking 8 here, down to 3. Okay, don't call it a comeback. Kroxa is going to close things out relatively quickly here. Attack all was lethal. I have no idea. I didn't count it for them. There was fear in their dojo. Oh, they had another Torbrand. That's so good. They're dead, right? This is 5 and 9. Coffees for closers, chat. Coffees for closers. And Kroxa's about to get himself a cup of joe. Shouldn't you have waited on the Bedevil there? Why? Yeah, that game really leveraged the escape well there. Escape cards, punch the clock and went to work. Yeah, if I wait, I could do a burn spell too. It is relevant. Yeah, I agree, Bio. And decks like this is a fun play patterns. This is a traditional mid-range deck. That's why when you hear me, if you're a newer player, you might not have experienced traditional mid-range decks much because a lot of the last few formats have been super hostile to them. But I really hope this deck is good because this style of deck is my favorite type of deck to have be good in Magic. The types of play patterns decks like this tend to produce good, honest games of Magic. I'm going to go ahead and stomp now, because some of these red decks play Infuriate, and I'd really rather not get blown out by that card. How many escape cards is too many? I think 8's fine with the amount of enablers that this deck has. So if you look at this deck has an incredible amount of enablers. So we have 4 Mire Tritons, 2 Ashioks, and 4 Calls the Dead. So we have a lot of ways to be flipping things into our graveyard in this deck. Sure. Runaway Steamkin, living up to its name here. Perhaps a mistake not killing it last turn. Double Torbrand, yep. Feather was cut by Jeskai Dragons, which was a complete and total dumpster fire. We don't have anti-graveyard hate cards in the sideboard. Yeah, just attack through it. There's not a lot of graveyard hate in this format. We have like some Lilianas in our sideboard, so if you're playing against like a mid-ranger control deck that Graveyard hates you, you can like pull up using those cards. Please don't Embercleave me, please don't Embercleave me, please don't Embercleave me, please don't Embercleave me. Deal. Now they're gonna pop counters off the Seamkin and cast Bonecrusher Giant here. Alright, so I think my plan here is go land Rider Phoenix, just to be resource efficient. Oko was oppressive for a variety of reasons. In part because the colors he was included in had a lot of other really busted cards included with it. In part because he just did a lot for very little mana. If I double block the Bonecrusher, they get to kill both of my things. This might be too aggressive, but I need to, like, end this game before they end me. Turns out it was, in fact, too aggressive. Woof. Probably dead to that. I think we're at two. They're at too high of a life total, and we're at too low of a life total to keep up with Frenzy from this point. Alright, game 3. I don't think I'm supposed to board in. Maybe I am. Maybe instead of these Remorses, I just want my Libations, because they can impact the board too. Remorse is pretty middling here. Libation isn't stellar, because they tend to have a lot of like weaker creatures lying around that they don't mind sacrificing, but having the upside to take a Frenzy out of play seems fine. And like, if I'm on a kill all their things plan, like killing their last thing with Libation is fine. Seems pretty good. Removal, threats. Looking for an escape creature to add to the mix, and Calls the Dead could find us an escape creature. Yeah, I'm in for a land. I don't even think you need 4 mana, Oko. I think you just need to, like, make its +1 a -1 or -2. We're gonna decline exiling that, because we can turn 4 Kroxa now. It depends on what the rest of their board looks like, Ted. That's definitely one of those it depends types things. Second longest commitment of my life so far. Starting to get scared. Thanks for the great content. Use this for dealer's choice. Thanks for the generous tier 2 sub, Cordemi. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday wherever you're at in the world. Welcome back. Kroxa gonna show some of his closing power here. End of the game right quick. Yeah, state of the game article? We've not, but let's, I think that was about where I wanted to wrap with this deck anyways, so let's talk about this deck, and then I'll pull it up on stream, and we can watch it together, chat, and we can do a live react video. So that's what the kids want, right? They want the live reacts. As far as this deck is concerned, other than the couple of bits of frustrating arena stuff and the bad beats, I was really pretty impressed with this. I like this build a lot. Cards I'm not certain of 100% are probably Embercleave and Ashiok, though Ashiok probably warrants testing more just because being graveyard hate against Simic seems very good, and the self-enabling is powerful, so I think I would play more games with this before writing it off. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub and for the half a year of support. Monetarily supporting your future revamped Gamer Cave wonders is a pleasure. Thanks, Bib. Yeah, so I think I'm pretty happy with everything. The board plan for Mono Red seemed good. Some Redcap, some Disfigure. Obviously, Redcap is better than Disfigure in the Mono Red matchup, but Disfigure can come in other places, which is nice. Bedevil comes in there too. So, all right. Yeah. So let's pull up.